What's up everybody, it's RobinGaming here with the second part of my E3 2013 breakdown series. Now the EA and the Ubisoft press conference just ended. They've shown great games and I was pleasantly surprised with the amount of games that we actually saw. There's definitely been like a lot of games that were announced and yeah, I'm not going to be able to talk about every game in this video, but I will be talking about the big games that were announced and the big surprises and yeah, the things that people will be most interested in. So let's start off with the EA press conference. I think that overall the EA press conference was probably better than the Ubisoft one. They've just, yeah, definitely shown a lot of surprises and a lot of amazing games. Let's start off with Titanfall, of course. We already saw this at the Microsoft press conference. Of course, Titanfall is made by Respawn Entertainment, the guys who left the Call of Duty studio, Infinity Ward, of course. You know, the guys who made Modern Warfare 1 and 2. And though I wasn't impressed at the Microsoft press conference by Titanfall that much, you know, what we saw here was definitely like amazing, and it just really reminded me of Call of Duty, to be honest. Like the way that game looks, the fast-paced gameplay, and you can just see that when you shoot and hit a person with your gun, it just feels so great. So it really reminded me of like that Call of Duty gameplay, but then really like in the future. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by Titanfall for sure. It's looking to be a great game, of course, but everyone had already expected that with such talents behind it. Now, next up, EA decided to show off a lot of their sports games. We saw FIFA, we saw Madden, UFC, and they actually brought back NBA as well. Now, I understand that, you know, EA definitely wants to put a big focus on sports games because they sell a lot for them. They're like, you know, some of the most important games for them, and you know, I totally get that. Personally, I didn't see too much innovation there. I didn't see too many surprises. So yeah, I mean, I guess it's just fair to say that those games, of course, will improve. I actually was surprised that they're bringing back NBA now. Of course, you know, the past NBA games, they didn't bring them out basically because the 2K series was just too good. So I'm wondering if that game will actually, you know, be of the same level again, or maybe even better. We'll see about that. So next up, EA decided to tease their newest Star Wars game, Battlefront. Now, many people have been asking for a Battlefront 3, of course. I personally didn't expect EA to show anything of the Star Wars license yet because they only just acquired that license. You know, I'm pretty sure that they haven't like started working on that like too long ago. Yeah, it must have been like in the past few months. But of course, it's great to see that they're teasing something. I hadn't expected that. But yeah, to all those Battlefront fans, of course, it's probably a great announcement. You know, to see that game being announced. Next up was Dragon Age Inquisition. Dragon Age is one of my like favorite RPGs. To me personally, I was happily surprised to see a character like Morgan return. I think a lot of Dragon Age fans are like, yeah, a big fan of that character. So I think they're happy with her returning. But at the same time, what I did find surprising is that they are not calling it Dragon Age 3 anymore. They've supposedly changed the title to just Dragon Age Inquisition. I don't know exactly what that means. I did find it really interesting because they announced Dragon Age like not too long ago, I think a few months ago, and it was just called Dragon Age 3 Inquisition there, but they decided to get rid of the 3. Again, I don't know why, but yeah, of course we'll have to see about that. Next up, they showed Battlefield 4, and I mean, Jesus, that game just looks so incredible. Where at the Microsoft press conference they showed off single player, here they showed off a real multiplayer match that they were actually playing on the stage. And my god, does it look amazing. I mean, they were playing on a map in China, I believe, and there were just skyscrapers there, and it was insane. It just looked amazing. Of course, you can say that it's not like that much different from Battlefield 3, but like the scale has just once again been improved so much, and it's so much bigger. And when you saw that skyscraper actually collapse in that multiplayer game, it was just incredible. I don't think I need to say a lot about Battlefield. You all know how good it is, and once again, I just can't wait for the end of this year when that game comes out to play it on the next generation of consoles. And then finally, the biggest announcement, at least to me and to many others as well, Mirror's Edge 2. I had already predicted it in the preview video. I really thought it was going to happen this time, and it did. They finally showed off Mirror's Edge 2. Didn't get to see too much of it. Actually, they didn't even call it Mirror's Edge 2, I believe. It just said Mirror's Edge at the end, and it's coming sometime when they finish it. So yeah, they didn't like release too many details about it yet. Not even platforms, I believe, though I did read an article a few minutes ago where it said PS4, Xbox One and PC. But I think that still has to be confirmed, but we'll see about that. I can't wait for that game. It has so much potential, and I'm so glad EA decided to return you know, with Mirror's Edge, because I definitely think it's one of the most innovative and one of the most promising games for the future. And I just really hope that people will support this game and buy this game because it's so incredible. Like the first one was just so amazing to me, and yeah, I'm really happy with the announcement of Mirror's Edge 2, and I can't wait to start seeing gameplay in the coming months. Okay, and that's it for EA. Let's talk about Ubisoft for a bit now. So, of course, last year Ubisoft had arguably the best conference, mainly because they showed us some real surprises, like for example Watchdogs. I think that, you know, with this conference they couldn't really live up to that anymore, basically because all the other conferences are just showing so many surprises now. And yeah, again, I don't think it was that good, but at the same time we did see some great games. For example, we started off with Splinter Cell Blacklist. You know, can't say too much about that. Of course, it's looking to be a great game. There's not much to be said anymore about that. Rayman Legends, which is finally coming this September. Many people have been waiting for that. I mean, the demo was already out on the Wii U, but then of course it got delayed and it went multi-platform and such. So yeah, it's great to see that that's coming out in September, of course. And then one of their new IPs, which is called The Mighty Quest for Epic Loot. I didn't know what to think about that. We saw like, you know, a short like animated cutscene there. They were trying to be very funny. I honestly didn't find it too funny, but I don't know what you think about that. Let me know, of course. You know, one game that was actually funny, that actually followed up to that game, was South Park: The Stick of Truth, which Ubisoft of course acquired after THQ went bankrupt, and that game is just looking to be so insanely amazing. Like, I mean, it really looks like the series. Of course, it has the original creators behind it. It's looking to be as funny, you know, as the series is. I can't wait for that game. That's gonna be a great game. Next up, a game that was already rumored is The Crew, which is looking to redefine the racing genre, as Ubisoft said it themselves. Personally, I didn't really know what to think about it. It's like you have the full United States that you can race through, and there's a lot of social interactivity and stuff like that. We'll still have to see, you know, how exactly that all comes into play. But yeah, it does definitely look interesting. The two biggest games for Ubisoft, arguably this year, Assassin's Creed 4 and Watch Dogs. I thought that we didn't see, you know, too much about those games, and I was actually quite surprised by that. For Watch Dogs, we only saw like an animated cutscene this time around, when we have already seen like gameplay twice, which surprised me. And for Assassin's Creed 4 as well, like just something animated. I was actually like interested in like real gameplay in one of those cities. We already saw something like that in a previous trailer. I was hoping we would see more about that, but unfortunately we didn't. So that's basically it for Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed 4. They didn't show us too much. Maybe we'll see like more trailers in the coming days or gameplay or whatever, but we'll see about that. Next up, Trials Fusion and Frontier. Now, Trials of course came to the Xbox 360. Many PlayStation owners were disappointed that Trials didn't come to their platform. This time around though, they announced Trials Fusion for next-gen consoles, so the PS4 and the Xbox One. So PlayStation owners will actually get that Trials game now, which is great. And Frontier is a mobile game. I think it kind of like is related to Fusion, and you can kind of like use them together in some way, but we don't know a lot about that yet. But finally, Ubisoft did decide to end the conference with a real surprise, The Division. Like, I don't think we've seen any rumors about that before, and I was happily surprised by that game. It's looking to be this game in a apocalyptic setting. I don't exactly know what happened. There's a lot of technology involved though, just like with Watch Dogs. But yeah, the graphics on that game are amazing, and I think that just the setting overall, this apocalyptic world in America, I believe they were in Manhattan or something, I believe. Yeah, it definitely looked amazing. Definitely let me know what you think about that. I really hope we'll be seeing some more gameplay from that in the coming week, but if not, then we'll definitely see some in the coming months. And that was it for EA and Ubisoft. Overall, I think that EA had the best conference, though, you know, Ubisoft's wasn't bad in any way. It was still great. They've shown off great games, great surprises. Mainly Mirror's Edge 2 is the game I'm most excited about, but Battlefield 4 as well just looks amazing. Definitely let me know what you think about these games. Are you looking forward to Titanfall, Dragon Age, Mirror's Edge, or one of the Ubisoft games like Assassin's Creed or Watch Dogs? You know, definitely let me know that. And then I thank you a lot for watching, and I hope to see you again in the third part, which will be all about Sony in the coming day.